We got a couple of W's coming out of Alberta, and they're kind of few and far between lately. And as much as I would like to see all the restrictions just kind of go the way of Texas, Mississippi, a handful of other states, you got to take what you can get when you're up here. And it's still the freest, most economically prosperous country or province in the country. So, yeah, I guess you got to kind of give it up to Kenny. And something else that I've been thinking quite a bit, and I think I've always been consistent on this in my videos. I don't think that it's Kenny so much that is the problem. It's just the fact that he's surrounded himself with a bunch of worrisome goofs, and they are the ones that are driving the policy. I could be completely wrong on this, but the dude himself, whenever he's left to his own devices, seems to do a good job. It's just the people around him, his advisors, his other fellow cabinet members, they are just ideologues, leftists masquerading as conservatives, because I've stated this before, but it bears repeating. When you're in Alberta, you have one party that you can join if you have a hope to get elected, and that is whatever current form the Conservative Party is. Okay? There's been a lot of anecdotes around there where if you're in the United States, if you're in a deep red district, you just run as a Republican, you get the opportunity, whatever position you run for, and then you can just institute all of your bonkers ideas, and the people who pay very little attention to their elected officials know none the wiser. They just think that, oh, okay, the party has this in hand, that's fine, I need not engage any further. I think that's what we got here, is we have a whole bunch of different less than ideal MLAs in Alberta right now. Ones that went on holiday trips with full knowledge that they were supporting all this stupid lockdown procedures and different mandates, but didn't want that applied to them. They didn't want to have to face any restrictions when they got back after not telling Kenny, but then at the same time, Kenny not making them step down or firing them from the cabinet. That's why I think that it's probably all of them. So perhaps he suffers a lot from the same stuff that Trump does, where just puts real proper idiots around him, but need not Kenny guard anymore, I suppose. Here are the numbers for the day. Who gives a shit? He's not putting up any more restrictions, at least for now. We could be reversing course as soon as tomorrow, because he did this a year ago, where it was like, okay, no restrictions, and then within the course of a couple of days, it was everything's getting locked down. So, and yeah, I'm not even being hyperbolic when I say a year, because I think that's when our first wave of complete and total shutdown in Alberta was towards the end of March, if not early April. So with that said, we actually got a total and complete unmitigated W here, because we're revamping our K-6 education. That's great. That's our grade school. For those of you in other provinces, sometimes it's K-5 or K-7, depends on what it is. Here in Alberta, K-6 is grade school, and it's been desperately in need of an updating, and what they're doing is actually really good and really innovative. It's not something as simple as, okay, listen, critical race theory, fucking retarded. We're not doing that. None of that has been implemented, okay? We did a story a couple months back, I think it was just before the end of the year, where there was some fucking bonkers ass shit getting put into the curriculum, but this right here is a correction in the other direction. See if I can inadvertently make some other words rhyme. Education experts who have reviewed Alberta's new kindergarten to grade 6 draft curriculum are universally giving it an A+. And this is weird, right? Because I'm actually siding with academics in this situation. And there's also somebody very important who you would have noticed in the thumbnail who's also siding with this as well. Details about Alberta's new K-6 curriculum that began under former Alberta NDP government and was continued by the current UCP, United Conservative Party government, are being released today. Trying to give the NDP credit, just like the Calgary Herald. They were the ones who started all of this horseshit some 3 years ago. What a fucking disaster they were. Alberta's Minister of Education, Adriana Lagrange, said top educational experts and proven science on learning have informed the development of the new curriculum. Get to the point already. It will include new concepts necessary for kids to succeed in today's world, including computer programming in early grades, which is good. You should have a cursory understanding of quite possibly the most important piece of equipment that everybody, regardless of profession, will be using at some form or another. And replacing worthless history modules or typing, because I think I took typing all the way into like the 4th grade. It was absurd. Financial literacy. Oh my God. I never thought that I'd read this before. That is fucking genius. You should know how to balance a checkbook. You should know the importance of investment. This is great. This is terrific stuff. A greater integration and recognition of our diversity, of our society. That raises a couple of red flags. And the idea of consent to prevent sexual exploitation. Depending on which direction they're going to take those final 2 points, we'll see where that goes. George Giroujo, sure, a professor of educational psychology at the University of Alberta, says only the best proven methods of teaching are what has been included in the curriculum, including phonics and morphology. Okay. We approached the top researchers in the whole world on each one of the subsections of English language arts. The feedback we received from each of the top experts in each subsection of the best science of how to teach English said the same thing consistently. This is the most comprehensive and most complete English language arts curriculum that exists in North America. That's awesome. Especially the kids, the age range that they're going to be teaching. Learning the fundamentals of reading and writing is essential, and if they're going to be at the top of the charts for this, I don't see this as a bad thing. Let's see where they go with this, because I don't like this line here. Additionally, diversity, yuck. Good citizenship. That, okay, I'm perhaps maybe taking the old school charitable interpretation of being a good citizen. Hopefully it hasn't been perverted, but this is public schooling after all. And history will be woven into the entire curriculum. Okay. Outside of diversity, I'm alright with the rest of that stuff being included. We're really about building the strengths of our previous curriculum and really moving our curriculum forward, ensuring that our students that have a rich essential knowledge of the skills that really help them develop into their own thought patterns, their own creativity, and really sets them up for success in this rapidly changing world. So the rest of this article from the Calgary Herald is just full of platitudes about how great this is. Doesn't really describe anything that's going to be going on, but of the topics that are up there, I'm very optimistic that this is a much needed update for public school curriculum, especially for K-6. If we can go a little bit light on the whole diversity thing and consent weird shit that kind of alludes to, we'll be good. We'll see where this goes. Let's see if a report gets released, something a little bit more thorough on it, and then we can go back to it. But I'm not alone in my adulation for this. I'm joined by another famous Albertan. Oh, please, that was a joke. I am not that conceited. Important Alberta-led initiative. Jordan Peterson praises province's new K-6 curriculum. Why is he sticking his nose in this? Some idiotic leftist. Listen, if you want to see some of the dumbest fucking shit takes that you could possibly see, just hop on Twitter. That's all that Peterson tweeted out in support of this, and the takes underneath of it. Well, if I know Peterson has endorsed this, I know that it would be racist and misogynistic. Fucking hot take there, pal. Literally, those are some to-the-point tweets. But we need not indulge in modern journalism and just sit down and fucking scroll Twitter needlessly. I don't need that much child pornography in my life. The curriculum seeks to expand on literacy and numeracy education while implementing a number of new subjects to modernize the curriculum, including programming, financial literacy, and consent. Everything that we just went over. The Kenney government in Alberta has earned praise from Dr. Jordan Peterson, born and raised in Fairview, Alberta, an hour north of where I live in Grand Prairie. He also went to Grand Prairie Regional College, same place I went. The program was informed by some of the world's leading education experts. We approached, yes, we read all that. This is the most comprehensive, most complete English language arts curriculum that exists in North America. Oh, and another thing too, if you guys are watching from out of province, you wouldn't know that our English courses when you're in grade school is called language arts. So don't take that as being like finger painting and drawing like that. No, this is regular English classes for K-6. So yeah, the rest of this article is just repeating everything that we read in the Calgary Herald. I'll of course link to everything as usual. But it's good to see that there is an actual win coming out of Canada. You know what? For as much shit as I give Kenney and deservedly so when it comes to the lockdown. Things look like they're turning around, mostly because we have an election coming up, I think, in the next 18 months. But hey, like we talked about yesterday, at least briefly with those fucking stupid sneakers, I don't care too much about the sneakers. I wouldn't buy them either, even though that the color scheme is rather attractive. I don't like when people hide their own insecurities and their own opposition to ideas based on what they believe is best for society. Okay? There's a difference. If you want to hide behind your children, if you want to protect them from something, look after your own children. Look after your own self. Don't be making grandiose statements that you think that this is better for all of society because, oh, this guy's putting out Satan shoes and it's so bad, and won't somebody please think of the children? If you don't like something, if you think that your kids are being taught some radical garbage, which coming out of the States, you hear a lot of stuff, especially from like California, New York, you hear a bunch of real radical stuff. Keep an eye on what your kids are doing, okay? Set them up well enough so that they know what is right, what is wrong, and what is a good value judgment for themselves, because at the end of the day, you're the ones who are instilling the values that will follow them throughout the rest of their life. Because I'm pretty certain that the best way for people to live their life is through the accepting of personal responsibility and not that of accepting ideology. And that's what's being worked out here in the curriculum. It's being updated so that more tangible skills can be used. And it's progress done right, not progress for the sake of progress. With that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.